Ladies and gentlemen, compared to the first Siege collab event from 3 years ago, the second collaboration has plenty of noticeable references in its event stage. And so I think it will be a fun idea to show you all Rainbow Six references I can find in this event stage mechanics, and also enemies. So first of all, you might have noticed that all of the R6 collab event name uses word operation at the start of the sentence. It's pretty much referencing at how Ubisoft named every Siege season, like Operation Black Ice, Deadly Omen, etc. Moving on, when you press the event tab, you'll get into the event lobby. And my first thought upon seeing this UI is that it might be referencing Siege lobby UI. Well, comparing it to the current Siege lobby, I think it's vaguely similar. But Arknights seems to use the older lobby as a reference. And you can clearly see the similarity. Entering an event stage, you'll also see this attacker and defender icon from Siege. Now let's see the event stage mechanics. When you play the event, the thing that stands out the most are these barricades scattered around the map. That is mainly used to block enemy line of sight and prevent them from doing vicious special attacks to your operators. Some of the barricades are also placed on the enemy path. That will either make enemies look for a different and open path, or straight up trying to destroy them. And to prevent the barricades from getting easily destroyed, you have a tool to reinforce the barricades. But more about this tool later. These barricades are pretty much referencing the soft walls and barricades in Siege. You see, in Siege there are plenty of destroyable walls and barricades on windows and doorways, blocking attackers' line of sight and path from the objective and the defenders. And to prevent attackers from easily destroying it, defenders can reinforce the wall, which practically makes it bulletproof, or use certain operator ability to place stronger barricades on the doorway and window. Still related to these barricades, some enemies can expose your operators, which makes them unable to use barricades to keep themselves out of sight, and the enemy can use their special attacks towards the exposed units, albeit they still need to get through the barricades first. This seems to reference to how you can ping and reveal enemies' location in Siege. And once you know that enemy is on the other side of the wall, it will be easier to plan how to take them out. Especially if the wall is not reinforced, you can just start blasting through the wall. In this event you are also given some tools to help you on the field. We already saw the first one, and that is the reinforcement device, which is a reference to how you reinforce walls and hatch in Siege. The second tool is a device that can intercept enemy special ranged attacks. Well, this is obviously a reference to Rainbow operator called Jaeger, whose gadget is the Active Defense System, or ADS for short. Much like the Arknights version, it will intercept incoming projectiles, mostly used to counter grenades. For the last tool, it's a mine deployer. If an enemy crosses the detection laser, this device will instantly launch a bomb to that enemy, and the bomb will stick to the enemy for a few seconds before blowing up. As far as I know, in Siege there's no direct operator or device that reflects what this tool does. My first thought, because it is an explosive and there's a detection laser, this could be a reference to Capcan's booby trap. But his trap is stationary, and isn't throwable like that. So if Cap isn't the one, I suppose it's a reference to C4 in Siege. Or it could be a mix between the two of them.
Say hello to my little friend!
Okay, I think that's all about the stage mechanic. But I also found that some enemies in this event seems to be based on some Rainbow operators' abilities. The obvious example is this one. Big guy with a hammer, who deals bigger damage to barricades. If he's not Sledge, I don't know what is. To further explain about it, Sledge is an attacker, whose unique gadget is a breaching hammer, who can break down barricades, soft wall and floor, and some defenders' devices in a single swing. The next one is a bit of a stretch. But I think it's possible that this shield guy is based on Monty. His ability is simple enough. If operators attack him, he will expose your operators. Meanwhile, Monty, who has a gigantic shield as his unique gadget, often acts as a point man, aggroing and pointing enemies' location, while his teammates attack the enemies from his side, or flank them. Which somewhat fits at what this shield guy does. Especially considering Monty is also an intel operator. The last enemy that I think is based on Rainbow Operator is this stun attack snipers. These snipers have invisibility, but whenever they attack, they will lose that invisibility for a brief moment. Their mechanics, and also their name being an ambusher, or hunter for their red version, makes me believe they are probably based on Knock, an attacker whose gadget can make her invisible to defender's camera, but will appear as a glitch on the cam whenever she does something like shooting. So technically, her gadget makes her perfect to flank or ambush an enemy. You can also argue these snipers might be based on Vigil. No, not that one. Vigil, a defender from Siege, who pretty much has the same gadget as Knock. But well, since in Arknights we are acting as a defender, and these snipers' appearance, who cover their face similar like Knock, I think it is more plausible they are based on the Goth Mommy. Well, that's all the Siege references I can think of from this collab event stages. Do let us know if there's something I miss. That should be all. Adios.